Hello, everyone. Wishing you all a lucky and healthy day. Asterisk, the story I'm telling today is called The Last Ride the Plane Trembled Slightly as It Climbed into the Sky. May gripped the armrest, her thin fingers knotted with nervousness. It was the first time in her life she had ever flown. At 62, she had saved for nearly 5 years to afford this one ticket a one-way ride to see her son. Leo, who had been working in Seattle for the past 10 years. Back home in Mississippi, May had lived a life defined by sacrifice. After her husband died of a sudden illness, she took up cleaning jobs in local homes and worked long hours at the laundromat just to put food on the table. Her 2 sons were her world. She sold the only gold necklace she owned so Leo could have a laptop for college. She ate rice and vegetables every day so her youngest, Ken, could have enough for his school lunches. Ken, though, had died in a car crash 3 years ago. That loss had nearly broken her. But Leo kept her going. His monthly calls, though short and hurried, gave her purpose. Today, finally, she was going to see him. The seat next to May was still empty when the flight attendants began their safety demonstrations. But just as the engines roared louder and the plane prepared to taxi, a young woman rushed down the aisle, her face flushed and eyes red. "Sorry," she mumbled to the flight attendant and slid into the seat beside May. She sniffled as she buckled, in her body curled toward the window, shoulders shaking. May turned slowly, hesitant. "Are you okay?" May asked softly, her English tinged with her Chinese roots, but clear enough. The girl looked at her, startled, as though she hadn't expected anyone to notice. "I'm fine," she said quickly, then wiped her nose. "Sorry, just some drama." I nodded, unsure whether to say more. But she reached into her canvas tote and pulled out a napkin she had folded like a flower. "For your tears," she said gently, holding it out. The girl took it with a small laugh that cracked through her tears. "Thanks." "I'm May," the older woman said. "Riley," the girl answered. They sat in silence for a few minutes. Then Riley, perhaps grateful for the distraction, began to talk. "I was supposed to fly with my boyfriend. We'd planned this trip for 6 months. But her voice broke. "He broke up with me yesterday, said he didn't love me anymore." Just like that. May listened, her heart aching not just for Riley, but for the silent wounds everyone carried. "Love can be heavy," she said after a moment. "It can carry us far, or crush us." Riley looked at her, surprised by the depth in her voice. "Have you ever been in love like that?" Riley asked. May smiled wistfully. "I had love. I had family. I lost many things. But I still have my son." She told Riley about Leo, about the calluses on her hands from scrubbing floors, about how she used to hide her own hunger so her boys wouldn't go to school on empty stomachs, about the day Ken died, the silence that followed. "I saved 5 years," May said, holding her ticket, "to take this one ride to see my son. Oh, wanted to surprise him." Riley was stunned. 5 years. That's incredible. "I didn't want to die without hugging him once more." A hush settled between them, not heavy, but warm. The hours passed more gently after that. May offered Riley her homemade rice cakes. Riley showed May photos from her phone. They laughed at a video of a cat stealing chicken. By the time the plane descended into Seattle, they were no longer strangers. At baggage claim, May hesitated. "I don't know his address," she said quietly. "It's just the workplace." "What?" Riley blinked. "Wait, he doesn't know you're coming?" "Wanted to surprise him," May said, smiling gently. "It's busy. I didn't want to burden him." Riley frowned. "May, you flew across the country. That's not a burden." Still, May insisted she would be fine. Riley couldn't bear to leave her. "Come with me first. Let me help." May reluctantly agreed, and they took a cab to Riley's apartment. It was a cozy, cluttered space filled with books and half-drunk. Cups of coffee? May offered to cook, and in no time, the kitchen filled with the aroma of ginger and soy. Later, as they sat on the floor eating dumplings, Riley asked, "Do you want me to call your son?" May shook her head. Tomorrow, I'll go to his work tomorrow. That night, Riley gave May her bed and slept on the couch, but she couldn't sleep. Something gnawed at her heart. The next day, they took another cab to a tall glass office building where Leo worked as a software engineer. May stood outside for a long moment, clutching her bag. "I'll wait here," Riley said. May entered the building slowly, her hands trembling. The receptionist looked up. "I'm here to see Leo Chen," May said. "Do you have an appointment?" "No," May replied, eyes wide. "I'm his mother." The receptionist paused, then picked up the phone. After a few minutes, Leo appeared. He looked confused at first. "Mom?" May smiled. "Hello, Leo." He didn't hug her. "What are you doing here?" "You didn't tell me. I wanted to surprise you." Leo sighed, rubbing his temples. "Mom, I have meetings. Should have told me. You can't just show up." May's smile faltered. "Thought I missed you." Riley watched from outside. Heartbreaking. Leo eventually agreed to take an early lunch and walked her to a nearby cafe. It was quiet and polite, but distant. He talked about work. May nodded and smiled, hiding the sting behind her eyes. When they finished, he hugged her awkwardly. "I'll get you a cab. I'll call you later, okay?" She nodded. "Okay." Riley met her at the curb. "How was it?" May smiled. "He's very busy, but he is healthy." "That's all I wanted to see." Tears filled Riley's eyes. "You deserve more than that." May gently patted her hand. "Sometimes a mother only needs to know her child is okay." That night, back at Riley's apartment, May fell asleep. Early, Riley sat by the window, watching the rain. She sent Leo a message on social media. "Your mother flew for the first time with money she saved for years to surprise you. She's sleeping on my bed right now after making me soup. She's proud of you, even if you were too busy to see her love." No reply came. The next morning, May didn't wake up. She passed away in her sleep. A gentle heart finally at rest. The shock crushed Riley. Paramedics came. The police. A quiet investigation. "Heart failure," the doctor said. "Likely stress and exhaustion." Leo arrived that afternoon. Saw his mother, tiny and still, her hands folded around a photo of him and Ken. He broke down. "I didn't." "No," he whispered. Riley gave him the note May had written before sleeping. "My dearest Leo, saw your face again, and my heart is full. Life is short, but love lasts longer than pain. I am proud of you. Even if I never see you again, I want you to know you were always enough. Love always, Mom." The lesson, a reflection, 1,000 words. The last ride is a story that echoes. The silent sacrifices of millions of parents around the world, mothers and fathers who give every bit of themselves, not asking for anything in return except perhaps a smile, a moment, a hug. May was not just a character. She was the embodiment of devotion, resilience, and quiet strength. She lived a life that many might call invisible, working menial jobs, walking alone, saving pennies in jars, but in her heart she carried gold. Her love was fierce, unwavering, and unconditional. What makes May's journey so heartbreaking is not the lack of love from her son, but the lack of awareness. Like so many of us, Leo was consumed by the rush of modern life deadlines, promotions, relationships, routines. He forgot that love needs presence, not just provision. He forgot that a mother's time is finite, and every call missed is a memory. Lost. May didn't ask for much. A hug, a moment, a meal together. In a world where we often measure success by achievements, May teaches us that real wealth lies in connection. She saved for 5 years, not for a new home, not for luxury, but for a chance to sit beside her son and hear his voice in person. Riley, in contrast, was a stranger who became family. In May, she found a mother figure, a grounding force during heartbreak. And in Riley, May found someone who saw her not just as Leo's mother, but as a woman with dreams, sacrifices, and worth. Their brief but deep bond reminds us of the power of empathy. How two souls from different worlds can meet on a plane and change each other's lives forever. And in May's final act, Going to Sleep, after having achieved her dream, there's a kind of poetic peace. She died with a full heart, and that is perhaps the most sacred ending a life can have. But for those left behind, really, Leo Usta's story asks, are we seeing the love around us before it's too late? Have we made time for our parents? We sat with them not out of duty, but desire. We asked them about their lives, their dreams, their losses. Because one day, the chair at the table will be empty. The phone will no longer ring. And we will realize that the people we called background were, in truth, the very pillars of our lives. Let this story be a wake-up call. Call your parents today. Visit your grandparents. Thank the person who loved you without condition. Don't wait for the right time. The right time is now. May's last ride wasn't just a flight. It was a final act of love. Let us honor her by not letting our own rides end in silence.